All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for The Promised Neverland, Episode 7. All right, everybody. This is coming off of the end of a very juicy episode in which we had the reveal that a William Minerva has left some codes in some books that he owned. And is someone that is not among us here, probably. Right. Especially given back the published date of the books, potentially like how long ago those codes were left in there. Yeah. But it's also a fun potential like future outside world kind of thing that could tie in with their
information. Yeah,
with there being also codes that aren't fully revealed yet, potentially, because of one of the books being kind of an open like interpretation as to what it's for. Yeah. But Sister Crone
is here. She thinks she's got them by the balls. But the thing is, this might all be according to Keikaku because they were very like public about their conversation out in the middle of the night in front of the house.
Yeah. And Crone has been on both sides of things, given that Ray is now playing the triple agent kind of thing here. Right. Double triple agent.
You know, it's very unclear.
Exactly. But the thing is that Crone is someone that no one really wants to be on this farm except Mom, really.
Well, but potentially the kids, because she could be their best weapon against Mom.
If they can play her here, regardless of whether or not this was all originally according to Kate.
Right, or whether they just sort of go with punches.
Or they roll with this here, which does seem to be more Emma's style.
That is definitely true.
It would be interesting to see how Emma and Norman and even Dawn and Gilda potentially come into play here. Because on some level, I think you need some people out there that are a little bit more normal in terms of intelligence so that they can
be cannon fodder.
Well, they can be unsuspicious, basically. Basically be moving parts that are distractions and stuff that keeps things complicated.
You need pawns in every chess game.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, and sometimes you don't need, a bunch of queens. You need some knights. You need some ones that move in odd ways and stuff.
Yep.
But
they can't tell you're lying if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. I love the crazy behind Sister Crone's like eyes and expressions and stuff.
So how is that going to be uncaged?
Interpreting and manipulating crazy is not easy. So let's figure out how this goes by watching this episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, everyone. We're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Animational intro card here. And it's over right now. Norman smiled. Yep. Yep, this is all according to Cake. Yep. Whoa. Yeah, there it is. Good. Okay.
All right. Yep.
So that means Mom has a number too.
Right.
Isabella has a number as well. And this is something that we've suspected, is that not only is this something where, this is a farm, but there are other locations out there where they build up other kids or other
Mom
humans.
Academy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's college.
Yeah. Fire.
This song is so good.
Fire. It's interesting. The stuff that's in the background for the three main kids and stuff are very different. And with Ray, he has gears. And that still seems a little bit off to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Or is that just seeding the idea that he was the spy and doing his own machinations the whole time?
Kind of, but yeah, we'll see.
And here it comes.
Yep, the drop. Here we go. God, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then right here we go. Right.
Squad shot.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, I just, whenever I see shots like that, it makes me think, like, what are the characters thinking while that's happening?
Right.
Did they practice this stance, you know, for... Are we gonna...
Oh, shoot. What? Oh, yeah, we called it.
All right.
But that's only girls, though.
So what, are boys out of luck?
Or boys have a different thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, and they're dead.
Wow.
Holy crap. Dang.
Okay.
But when you're transferred here...
There's probably a lot of, like, paperwork and stuff that had to happen for that.
I love the... Yes! Norman's like, you never caught me when we were playing hide and seek. Remember that. I'm better than you. Oh, cool. And Emma's...
Okay.
Well, that's actually great, because if that's it, then it doesn't matter, because Mom already knows that Ray's probably a double agent. It doesn't really matter. Right. She's already accounted for that.
On it.
The only person who's actually, you know, really in danger here is Crone. So by her kind of screwing up in some ways, she's showing her desperation to the kids here. Like, she has... Oh, well, awesome. This is great. Like,
all right.
This is amazing. No, we're not stupid. Like, why would we do that?
Well, I mean...
Well, maybe
they're
one
gonna
of
be
them.
Working together.
One of them, though. Not
all of them?
Not all of them, yeah.
The thing is that if they want them dead, they could just kill them, but they haven't, so...
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's not a threat she can make, exactly.
It's like when, like, an assistant manager says, like, you could be fired. Like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see this. I see this as an absolute win. They signed a non-aggression pact basically for the next, 5 turns, This game of Risk continues.
This conversation's going to be very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is where the real planning happens. Oh.
And we don't get to hear that one either.
And Emma waited until they were out of the room to say it.
Okay, Isabella, what do you got? What do you got? See, she got some equipment. She got some... Oh, is this part of her, like, earnings, basically? Like, as she does work, she gets on, like, a cycle, some kind of thing from the outside world, or... Nice. That's like a manga panel thing. Yeah. It's just like, let's have, like, hard, like, oh, that's good. That's good.
Let's use angles.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That's a good point. Having 2 of them there is better because then they can... Why did they have to use that sound? That? Yeah, why did they use that sound? That was unnecessary. Oh, we could learn so much stuff here. She's like, wow, they know a lot. Okay, so it looks like a pocket watch. Yeah. Nice. This is interesting. One of the aspects of asking people...
Good to know.
Okay. Oh, also to headquarters. Oh, crap. Wow, thinking about infections. That's smart. Yeah. That's convenient. Oh. Good questions. No. This is good.
Important.
Yeah. Only 26. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Whoa. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, right. That makes sense. Yep. Oh, okay. Crap. So... Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What the hell?
Yeah. They taught her that at Mom Academy?
Yeah. Yep, adults are more experienced than kids.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, obviously. Yeah. Oh. No, I guess not. Oh, she's good. She's good.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I was starting to doubt her. I'm really glad that she's not, like, you know...
Incompetent,
yeah. Wow. So she got a camera. Wow. Oh, no, he got a camera. Okay. Dang. Wow. Oh. Okay.
All right, what's going on?
Wait, why do they have the... Why is it so loud when it's, you know, it's at nighttime? People are trying to sleep.
Well, it's probably just played up for dramatic effect.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, she's gonna call for an order.
Impromptu shipping.
Uh-huh. To shake things up.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's another month, you know. It's been a... Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the fact that they're bringing that up, it's early. Oh boy. This is going to totally throw them off. We didn't see any of the important conversations.
Yeah.
Like,
No way. Wait, something internal with the camera? Oh shoot, sister's getting busted today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, just everything's moving. That was cartoonishly funny, by the way. Just the way she looks into the room and says out loud, "Now's my chance." Yeah. Obviously, it's more of just a thing of like, she's just thinking that. Aw. Which was this kid again? He's a little blob. Oh. Oh my god, he's so adorable. her little like,
Serious time.
So this is their dummy trail. This is their trap for her. Gotcha. Nice. Or is it a message to her?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, my own move. She did.
Yeah.
Haha. Oh my god. Her crazy is amazing. It's just And it's Isabella. No. Oh, it is. It is. Yep.
Yeah.
Kakudori.
Oh.
No way!
No. Oh.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Isabella, you're so good! You're so good!
And this track, too.
You're getting transferred out. Yeah.
Or getting shipped out.
No way! Getting shipped out?
I mean,
no, she's not
probably too old.
She's not
to
a
be,
kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, played so hard.
But the thing is,
she gave them everything they needed, and she's done.
Well,
she's done.
And yet, they gave us, the audience, almost nothing this episode. Almost nothing. We still don't know what the plans are. We don't know what all the different conversations are. We don't even know what that letter is. Well, other than that Crone
she's leaving.
Finished.
She's leaving.
Right.
Regardless of whether or not her fate leads to her death, her being eaten, her going to be an assistant mom somewhere else.
Right.
The point is that Isabella won, the kids won, she lost.
Yeah.
Even if she does something crazy here, like trying to pull something about how they're trying to escape or something.
Or attack mom with the letter opener.
No, that's not gonna work. She has to do this by the book in order for her to become the next mom.
Yeah.
So she can't threaten the food. You know,
Right.
She can't threaten the protector of the food. She's essentially lost. Like, it worked perfectly.
You beat me at my own game. Don't flatter yourself.
You were never even a player. Holy crap. Now, the crazy thing is that what was the weakness that Ray deigned to be something that would... Yeah. All right. We have some serious 4D chess moving around right here. This was some good stuff, but they also did the classic technique of having off-screen strategy, tactics, organization, planning stuff, so that when we see the on-screen execution, we're left kind of wondering exactly what the full furthest intent is behind the plan.
But we know that it's justified. Like, it's not, we know it's not coming out of nowhere. The thing is that they did a lot of off-screen planning with different groups of people.
Yes. So let's count them off. Emma needed Dawn and Gilda to do a favor for her. And that wasn't resolved.
And it was after Norman and Ray left
to go
room.
Have their talk.
Right.
Now, I think Norman and Ray's talk is the one where they planned this out.
Sure.
They planned this thing out with Crone because Ray was basically needed to be the one to tell Mom how they would enact this. And Norman basically told Ray that this is a problem. And they did specifically discuss that there was the issue of we need to move things up a little bit further because of the whole thing of what Crone knows now.
But what it also could have been them discussing is the idea that Ray mentioned of just us three will get away.
Right.
And they have enough with the
anesthetic,
the anesthetic and stuff to take out 5 tracking devices. So if they wanted to bring along Dawn and Gilda too, they could.
They could, yeah.
But the thing is, so there's that, because that's the thing that they plan about that Emma can't know about, right?
Right.
And then Emma doing that once they left the room makes me think that maybe Emma suspects Ray and Norman. Hence why she's asking them to do this. But yeah, it's craziness. It's craziness.
Right. So one of the things that I think is genius about the genius about the main 3 kids is the idea of asking for help with something. This is something that I think that regular, like us, like in the real world, need to actually like take note of here. This is something that has nothing to do with manipulation or anything to do with scheming or strategy tactics or whatever. This is just called basic like human connection and how to earn respect, trust, and stuff from people, make people like you and stuff. Is when you ask someone for a favor with something, when you ask someone for basically help with something, when you go to Crone here and you basically say, yeah, we do need information, we need these things. The more you ask someone for favors or help with something, the more actually they're willing to, in some ways, I would say trust you. But one of the things with that is that when you ask someone for a favor or for help with something, you're basically revealing your vulnerability in a certain area,
and you're giving them a chance to do an awesome. And while if it's a big favor, they might be like, I don't, I don't
give
have
me $1 million,
right, exactly.
No, I'm not going to do
that. But
if
it's something that they can do at little cost to themselves, but they can feel good about it because they did something awesome for you and you really appreciate it.
Yeah,
a lot of people will do that.
It's like, hey, can you lend me, your coat? I'm kind of cold right now.
Sure.
That's something that some people might go like, no, I'm sorry, I'm really cold and I'm not going to do that. You'd be surprised, though, if you're, at the very least you have some slight connection with them, how many people would just be like, yeah, sure, just, give it back in, a few minutes.
Or the catchphrase, hold my beer.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, what you going to do,
Right.
Yeah.
And when people understand that they can help set you up for something so that you can do an awesome, they feel awesome when you do that awesome.
Right.
So what's happening here that I think is really crazy is that there's so many people that are kind of relying on others in order to do things that they could not do themselves.
Okay.
And since we have a core unit of 3 with 2 attaches in Gilda and Dawn, there's a lot of potential things where we could still end up in a situation where it comes down to the final 3 and whether or not Ray is still like fully committed to this and also whether or not Norman is still fully trusting of Ray.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a lot of little micro moves happening that don't correlate to manipulating or anything like that. But what I think it is it's trying to build rapport at the very least, especially between anyone involved with Ray. Like, Ray is kind of the crux of this now because he just executed successfully, I believe, the ousting of Crone.
Right.
Like, that was all Isabella's desire. That was all her desire.
Yeah, she won more than the kids did.
She won more than the kids did here. Because the kids would have liked to get more information. They would have liked to use her more. But she gave them a lot. But in terms of how things were done, the kids slipped up. And maybe this is something where they needed in some ways Ray to be there, even though Ray couldn't have gone to Crone because then he would have been aware of Crone's whole thing there.
Well, and also one of the other things too is that Crone made a big mistake.
Oh, a huge mistake.
In that she revealed how much she knew.
Yep.
That's the big difference, I feel like, between her and Mom.
Yeah.
Mom is just more level-headed in general.
Totally.
Like,
totally.
But the thing is that Crone could have done much better here if she hadn't made the kids feel scared by her, right?
Yes.
Because she's their ally now, right?
Right.
She's helping them. And even if she has an ulterior motive or she has a way that she's one-upped them, don't let them know that.
Yeah.
Because then they'll adapt and they'll behave accordingly, right?
Yep.
Because now they feel threatened.
Yep.
Or as if she had done the same thing, gleaned all that information, and been like, huh, interesting, okay. But not said anything, they would have been none the wiser. And they probably would have given you even more information.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas once you say that they have a tell, they don't use it anymore. Or they actively try and avoid it.
Yeah. Once Crone basically showed up, there was this air of desperation about her that showed she never wants to go back to wherever she was. Now, this is a crazy thought, but I think that the part where she pulls down her blouse a little bit and shows the thing on her sternum.
Mark.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff where you go, oh crap, like her humanity has been like replaced with something else. Like, she has no empathy for the lives of these kids. Like,
and it's the thing that she wants to be Mom and keep shipping the kids out. She wants,
she's self-serving. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But that's something that is not the case with most of the kids here. Ray has that a little bit. But I think what's a good thing to separate here is that when you're self-serving and desperate, no one wants to ally with you. No one wants to ally with you. You basically like set yourself up, Crone, for huge failure by revealing your desperation in a lot of ways.
Even if she had a lot of proficiencies and abilities that she could have used,
which she did.
The thing is that there's you
now,
need to play the people.
Right. In some level, this is a slight product, and I'd say this is not a negative. This is actually just to show the frenetic terror that this show brings out by having everything be so fast-paced with regards to the information flow and the planning and the execution of said plans.
Sure.
Is that if Crone was smarter, she's smart. She has maybe a really good intuition, but she's not actually good at macro strategy. Right. Once there's too many variables involved, she kind of seems to forget things.
She's not great at the long term.
She kind of has the same flaws I have. Yeah, exactly.
She gets too caught up in the moment.
Exactly.
Quite literally.
Yeah, quite literally. She should have just moved slower. There's a lot of things that would have happened, and she would have just observed them naturally with her good, her sniffer, basically, her sniffer for the BS and the kids and stuff. And in some ways, she could have even played Mom. Like, she could have done a lot to be the extra Ray. Like, in this way, I don't know what the value is she specifically brought into Mom. I think what it was that maybe Mom's thinking about this even beyond that, and she knew on some level, I don't care really what kind of stuff Crone does, because eventually the kids will throw her into me. Because honestly, like, this is something that I've always wondered, is that why Crone? I'm just guessing here. But I'm guessing they didn't send someone like as good as mom, not because they needed someone as good as mom at another farm or something like that, but that mom is so good that it didn't matter who they sent. Like, basically, like, whoever they sent, mom would be able to manipulate because they have everyone statted out and measured. So she's like, oh, the average assistant that's going to come in will be within this range of kind of threat meter for me.
Sure.
So then I'm basically going to use them as a distraction for the kids so that they mess up. So the kids mess up and make themselves a little bit more obvious. So then I can plan that out, use Ray against them. And then once I get rid of whoever the assistant is, I'll have more information. I'll be more prepared. The kids will be more desperate, more willing to make actionable mistakes that I can then use to solidify my, standing here and get rid of any kind of subversive parties.
And that's one of the things that I'm kind of curious about here, because mom brought in Crone. Now, Crone was removed here, and that was a win for mom. But so then the win for mom that she got before, just by Crone being here, right? Because I'm assuming that up till this point, it's all more or less according to Keikaku for mom, right? The kids are doing their thing, but that small scale. They're still in her zone of allowed behavior, right?
Totally.
Maybe Crone gets the kids to make some mistakes or whatever, but in the case of mom, she wants these kids, ideally, her ideal win, right?
Is shipping them out.
Yeah. Now, they currently know, some of them do. And the longer that the ones that know are here, the more likelihood that others will become in the know as well.
Right.
And if she wants to go back to a full, healthy crop rotation, then she needs to ship out all of the kids that know. Right? Or convert them to her own cause.
I think she could afford by shipping out one key player in the midst of them there. Like, I think she doesn't need to ship out all three immediately.
Not immediately, right? But eventually, in order for it to go back to regular crop rotation, and the more you ship people out, then they can get more desperate and stuff, and then they might end up doing more stuff.
Like,
but again,
say, Ray, you're being shipped out in 3 days.
Right, exactly.
And suddenly then Ray's not on their side anymore.
Right, and then how does that change how they act and plan and behave? Because the thing is that she doesn't want them to escape. She wants everything to go peacefully.
In fact, she can't even leave to chase them. Like, if they escape and stuff, she basically has to admit her failure to the higher-ups, which is not good for her.
Right.
Like, that can't be a good thing for her record, basically.
Right, so what I'm wondering is how in control is she still? Because we haven't seen what's going on behind those eyes, but this situation she's in is very delicate because her hands are very much tied. She can't hurt the kids, right? She can't, she needs to keep everything running smoothly.
Right.
How does she do that while at the same time keeping them from escaping when certain death is their adrenaline, impetus for escaping, right?
It's Ray.
Sure.
All she has to do is game Ray once, and they're screwed. Here's an example of where I think this is something that it comes down to, basically. Is that Ray as a character is one that if everything went badly for him, he would forget every other kid in this farm and choose himself. And I think that's because it's the smart thing to do. It's not the thing that leads him towards any higher chance of survival if everything goes badly. An example of everything goes badly is that mom literally turns Ray's the trust they have in Ray against them, so that they end up suspecting Ray and they start cutting him out from certain levels of information, which they already are doing. Like, remember here, like, they're already slowly like segregating him off from certain levels of information. So all she has to do is then make Ray become aggressive towards them and then subvert their plans by withholding information from mom. And then the miscommunications happen. Things spiral out of control. They waste time. She ships them out one at a time. Keikaku, Dory, mom wins.
But like, let's say it gets down to a really bad situation. Let's say Ray's cut off from the group, and then let's say Emma or Norman gets shipped out, right?
Okay.
And it's bad. It's bad.
That's really bad.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
That's really bad.
Assuming that she doesn't speed things up so that the next one gets shipped out 2 days later. Yeah. Right. It seems like the thing that they would do next is they would basically say, okay, desperate now, I'm going to start telling the other kids to try and get allies, to get more allies, even if they're not good allies. Who would do that?
No one would do that.
But the thing is,
Norman wouldn't do that. Ray wouldn't do that.
Maybe.
I don't even think Emma would do that. Like, I think the only person who would even think about doing that is Dawn. And even him, I think he's smart enough to know that's a stupid idea.
Okay.
Like,
but the thing is that then they basically have something where they either need to escape very soon, right? And mom will probably get them. Or, or what? Like, so
okay.
Like, how does mom get it back to a status quo, even keel, good situation?
So I think the way obviously she does that is she just outlasts their plan. Their plans of escape just don't work. So the way that generally they would do that is she can start feeding information to Ray that he believes to be true that just keeps pushing back their plans. And then suddenly Ray wakes up, or, someone wakes up, and Ray sees mom hovering over him with a needle, and she takes his limp, unconscious body out to the gate. And suddenly now they're blind. Norman and Emma are blind.
And they still have 4 or 5 months to escape.
Well, they have time or what have you, but they have no understanding as to why Ray disappeared. Yeah. What Ray said that was messed up, that how Ray screwed up, essentially.
I guess it's one of those things where it seems like in this situation you would have instances where the fear might be paralyzing for a bit, but if they have several months to basically try and get over that, eventually they would try something. And if if mom is outnumbered or whatever, if she can't physically prevent them from escaping, then eventually someone would escape, and that would go badly on mom, right?
Well, okay, here's the thing that I think is the double-edged sword here. Is that actually the kids have 2 ways of kind of escaping without escaping here. So everything that they've revealed this episode, in fact, I want to go and just double check this here, is that they mentioned the whole thing, Crone mentioned the whole thing with how if an adult leaves the farm without very specific, a transfer kind of thing.
Right.
Which I'm guessing they're sedated or something. Yeah, they are dead. They are absolutely dead, which means mom can't chase them, which means I don't think mom is actually scared about them escaping here. I think she's more scared about them actually killing her. Now, here's the thing where I think that this might be a little bit of a jump in logic here. Is that where is it? They brought up the whole idea of there's a scalpel for medical uses.
And
so that's something
enough anesthesia for 5 people.
Right, that's something that can remove the tracking devices. Now, let's say they remove the tracking devices. Okay, cool. But the thing that has always kind of bugged me about these tracking devices is that they seem way too simple. Right. And I think the reason for that is because on some level they're trying to keep the technology in these areas frozen in this kind of Victorian era, early 20th century kind of look. Basically, if you look at all the things here, except for maybe the computers for testing them and stuff, there's nothing that the kids can use as tools that are crazy helpful or powerful and stuff. They barely even have blades on the thing and stuff, except for a locked medical cabinet with, drugs and a scalpel in there. And that's it,
Right.
But they also said that if, where is it? Where is the part where they mentioned the specific things surrounding the chip and stuff? Is it in the very beginning? It is in the beginning. Yeah, she shows them it when they're in the forest. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a chip inside. If an adult steps to it, an electric current will send to their heart and it will stop. But it says at the same time, if something else makes their heart stop, then it acts as a transmitter that notifies the higher ups.
Right.
So we couldn't kill the adults after all. Here's the thing I think that's kind of odd about that is that Norman gives so the thing we were thinking about, as if basically he's trying to let her, Crone, know that, oh yeah, we considered trying to kill you guys. We thought about it, and that's now a bad idea.
One thing that I am a little bit curious about is if they end up using the anesthetic to sedate mom so that they can escape.
That's another great idea. Just take for 5 doses and just
there you go.
Poof, she's out for
she's out, or at the very least not able to stop them, right? And then they just tie her up, whatever, gag her, things like that.
Right.
And then it could be a long time before they figure out what's going on, and then they could just have an interesting conversation with all the other kids where it's like, so we don't have any anesthetic, but we need to take these things out.
Right. But my thought is that actually the only way this really could be a thing where mom is actually going to win is if there's something more that keeps them actually from escaping beyond the obvious, some kind of technology thing.
Right. But so far the security is, as Krone stated, very light.
Right. And that seems like more the kind of thing that just Crone doesn't know. Crone has a lot of things she doesn't know about.
Right.
She's never been a mom before.
And in this situation that they're in, they could have them go to escape, and then suddenly no plane survives contact with the enemy. They're doing it, and then it's like, wait, we had bad information. This isn't how we expected. There's something that we didn't foresee, and now we have to deal with that in the moment. That would be, one, very exciting from the audience perspective, thrilling and all that stuff. But also it's just, it's another wrench in the plans.
Right. My thing that I think this is going to boil down to is basically that band shot. It's going to be a thing of where the kids basically realize that we're panicking. Mom is too good. She's played us. We are going to grab her. We are going to beat her senseless. Then we will basically torture her for information.
Yeah.
Then we will kill her, and that will be our cue for the higher-ups to then send basically something to come there, and the higher-ups basically let them get out. And the whole farm is a trap for the higher-ups.
Well, that's my crazy theory
My
crazy ideal situation is they use all 5 doses of the anesthetic on Mom.
Okay.
They tie her up.
Yeah.
Then they take the scalpel, and they surgically remove Mom's tracking device.
Oh, in her chest? Oh,
then they basically say, okay,
are you now on our side?
Are you now on our side when the next shipment comes?
No, she would have done that.
Or even before then, we just run.
She would have done that.
Well, she wouldn't be able to operate on herself.
Wait, you think that the only reason why she hasn't done it thus far is because she'd be unable to
cut open her own chest and while under anesthetic and remove the tracking device?
You think that she wouldn't make the same play as Crone at some point if that's something that I don't buy, because on some level, if she wanted to be free of this and she has all the knowledge that she has, I think she enjoys it here. Then I don't think that she would risk whatever pleasure she gets from this whole setup in the thing of because I think she would just tell the kids then. She would basically, okay, so let me run with your idea here. Ray is the experiment with that. In fact, she's had other Rays in the past, maybe. Well, actually, no, probably not, because...
Well, she's 31.
Yeah, and if Crone is 26, and she's been doing this Isabella's been doing this at least since... Ray was 5,
so 6 years.
So 6 years. So it's younger than Crone basically is now, which means that's probably only a few years earlier. She was a mom. She was the mom for this place.
Yeah.
No. She's only had really this whole setup here, at least as being the mom.
Well, yeah, we don't know how long they're trained to be moms.
I would assume that. It's about...
when they're 20 or so.
It's about around 20. Yeah. I would assume on some level they wait for them to end a lot of their maturation process as adults.
Sure.
And most people end that between the ages of 20 and 24. So it depends on the person, obviously. So maybe that's something that they've got in their tracker that's a little bit more complex.
But back to the thing you were saying.
Which part?
You were saying, you were like, okay, the one way where I see that could work,
so basically, I would think that if she wanted to do the self-operating kind of thing where she basically, finds her own escape plan, in this case, instead of the kids basically doing that, which I think would be way kinder than she deserves. Just the fact that any of these moms basically are put into this kind of situation is horrible for them, obviously. But the idea that she hadn't done it yet
Right.
Means that on
just
some level,
shipping out the kids.
Yes,
stuff,
means that on some level she likes it here. But if she wants to have that as a backup plan, she basically brings Ray in, and his whole thing of that he discovered stuff or whatever, that was all her plan. So she's been basically training up this kid, which is interesting because they brought the whole idea of it's only girls that are potentially given the other option.
But then Crone said something about like, have you met the man kind of a thing? Like, have you heard about him?
Well,
right. Exactly.
I think that's either a demon that's like a supreme demon, like they mentioned when they said the whole Tifari thing.
Or potentially the person that plants the books.
Oh, no. Because the context they used it in was they were like preparing food for him. I don't think William Minerva is like secretly a demon.
No. I'm talking about just that Crone said him.
Yes, and they said him before when they were referencing someone that they prepare food for with the whole Tifari event thing for the demons. It was like way back when.
Sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the him is the same person. If the demons say it versus if Crone says it?
Probably. I mean, you're right. Like, I don't think it does necessarily, but I think it is.
Yeah, but
okay, so if Mom had a backup plan for trying to basically get out, and she needed a kid to basically be her support system in that regard, I think Ray being that kid would be enough for her to get out. And if it ended up being a thing where, on some level, Mom's whole plan was to help them get out, like, I think that's something that...
Yeah, she has a good life here, so it seems strange that she'd jeopardize it.
Yeah, in some level, she would need some serious characterization stuff in order to justify that.
Right.
Because there have been 6 years, or at least, 6 years at least, of kids being shipped out. And if she wanted this, why didn't she move sooner?
Sure.
Like, if she was waiting for, like, specific kids with, like, certain aptitudes and stuff... I'm certain that the way they focus so much on improving these kids' intelligence, and that she obviously had at other points other 10 and 11-year-olds, older kids with good aptitude and all those other kinds of things, she wasn't like, she wasn't short on resources in order to make it work.
Well, and also just from a meta perspective, it would take away, because one of the big elements of danger in this show is the fact that these people are kids and they have to do all this by themselves, right?
Yep.
In like a more classic hero's journey type format, you'd have the mentor with you for a while, and then once the mentor is removed, and then it'd be this scary thing, because now, are you good enough? Have you learned enough? You now need to do it all on your own. Whereas they're here from the very start, right? And if anything, the only maybe mentor they have would be the people that have different amounts of information that they come along, up against along the way, like Crone.
William Minerva also.
William Minerva, yeah,
that's
exactly.
Like an abstract, indirect mentor.
Right, exactly. Really, yes, they do not have a safety net here.
Right.
The only reason that they're still alive is just because, well,
they can't be
harmed.
Expensive. They're expensive. Yeah. Yes, well said.
Yeah.
So the plot of this episode, I know we went hard into theory crafting at the beginning here, but the plot of this episode had some really good stuff in that it they didn't even feel the need to clarify whether or not all the stuff leading up to Crone was a trap. The point is that Crone is so easy for them to play that in some ways it's like, well, obviously we expected Crone to be here. The way Norman just kind of smiled and was like, yeah, we'll do this.
Right.
It was like, he's like, it was about time you showed up.
Yeah, it's like, geez, we had to make it so obvious for you.
And if anything, Emma played up the, Norman, you're too eager by doing how do we know we can trust you?
Which is
such
point.
A dumb question if you think about it from the meta thing, but it's genius that Emma asked that question because to provide some subterfuge.
Exactly, because what Crone established later is that she's very good at reading people. And if that had all gone so smoothly like that, maybe she would have been like, hold on a second. Like, it might not have occurred immediately, but she would have been like, wait a minute.
Yeah, she's talking to her little doll, and she's like, why was Norman, like, smiling when I...
And why did they just trust me so readily? Like, that seems That seems strange.
Yeah, I think that's something that shows in a lot of ways the flaw in Norman. Norman's only real flaw, I would say, is that he is a bit too obvious with his body language.
Right. He's eager to have things go his way because that's what he's used to.
Right. And he might not tell you what his plan is with his body language, but he tells you that in some level you've lost because I'm revealing how excited I am about things going his way.
He's a bit cocky and proud. So
right.
So he gloats just a little bit, even if it's...
But it's subconscious.
It's subconscious.
He's not trying to...
Exactly.
Because he's also a kind person, that he's not actually trying to make them think that, look how smart I am. Smarter
it does come up to the surface.
It does. It reveals itself in these little moments.
Yep.
And I like that Crone was competent enough to be like, hey, you kids are kind of like goofing up here. But she's also cocky enough that she would tell them that they screwed up in that way.
Exactly.
Because if she hadn't said that, then they wouldn't have moved things along quickly enough to tell Ray that she knows, so that Ray would tell Isabella that she knows, and then ship Crone out.
When I think about the plot of this episode, it's actually, like, I think one of the reasons why we theorize so much is because not much actually happened this episode, if you think about it.
Well...
Because, or at least... a lot of stuff happened, we just didn't see it.
We didn't see it, exactly.
So, it's like, the stuff that we actually saw that was like plot stuff here was very small. But we know that there's all this other stuff that's been put into play.
Yeah.
And it's starting to take effect.
Yeah.
But we don't know exactly what it is or what the ramifications of it will be or any of that.
I gotta say, one of my favorite parts of this episode, it was actually funny how it was kind of a little moment of terror a bit, but then it was also a moment of like, why did they show this? Just to kind of give us more of the desperation of Crone specifically, is when Crone's searching Ray's stuff and everything.
Yes.
She's searching and she's being really kind of obvious about the whole thing. She literally like pops in cartoonishly and is like, oh, this is a good time. I'm like, are you like actually delusional? That was obviously a thought bubble in the manga. But the thing was, is that they can hear her stomping around excitedly, so they kind of give a look of like, all right,
she's a thick lady.
She's a But the thing is then you have her like looking, and she's got this frantic, crazed look in her eyes, and then the little kid comes by, and
he's like, "What are you doing?"
And he's like, "Oh, I have no nose, I'm a blob. What are you doing?"
She's like,
and she has this, like she shifts so quickly into like, that shows her clear like psychopathy, or I don't know what that would be, like just her ability to mimic human genuine emotion.
Instability, let's say.
Oh yes, but that's something that we see before that. I'm talking about her ability to switch to fake smile and then shift so badly, and then shift back to like it's like a little like human like fake creature came up and was like, "Hi, little one. I'm so happy to see you.
Hello,
I'm just cleaning the floor." Yeah. How do you do, fellow kids? And then once the little kid blob leaves, she's like, and I don't know why, but it was so funny to see her be so, I don't know, vulnerable in that state where
because the thing is that she thinks she's doing so well. And she's like, I got this.
Oh no. And I would have gotten away from it if it wasn't for this cute
tiny adorable kid.
That just shows
like,
how fragile her status is that one little like 4-year-old Bop Bang goes, what are you doing?
Like it makes me think like Code Geass and the cat, the cat with the helmet, and it's like, no! But instead in this case, it's like a very quick switch. Like it's a transition in, and it's like, and then transition out. It's like, that was close,
But I gotta wonder if you look at all the other kids, right? And what if, they had that whole thing of them training with, what was it, tag or hide and seek? Yeah. What if they've what if they've also been having the little kids, because they're so impressionable and innocent and stuff, just go around and do little things and we don't know about it. But basically like, hey, can you walk over here and go look in my room real quick?
Here's the thing. I could totally imagine Emma being like a little Varus. And like sending the kids out.
Yes.
And just being like, oh yeah, no, it's totally fine.
And they have no idea. They think it's all a game. They think they're just having fun. And then Emma will like congratulate them or something like, good job.
Yeah, you're doing great.
You're so good. And they're like, oh my God,
yeah.
like just such positive reinforcement. I'll do anything for you, Emma. And it's like, they're not being like cold and having them do actually like horrible things, but it's like,
no, but it's just,
they're their eyes and ears.
Exactly.
Like,
tentacle power.
It's always OP.
Yeah.
So I love that also in some ways. I don't remember what this kid's name was, but I think we've seen him do this one other time. And it was like, that's a fun coincidence.
What's terrifying?
It was who came to the door when Gilda and
and Dawn were
in there and had the key.
Yeah.
And picked up the key.
Well, I
think it was the same kid, wasn't it?
That's the other terrifying thing, is that this kid could also the tentacle things and Emma and all that could just as easily be Mom.
Oh, sure.
Because
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So she just tells him, "Oh yeah."
Well, that was an instance of where it was definitely not Mom, because that was some shenanigan well, next level thinking with the key.
Unless Mom wants to keep the enemies closer.
Oh, come on.
Like not okay. Oh, yeah, not in that instance. Okay.
She looked genuinely confused where no one else who needed to be deceived was watching.
Like, wait.
She was like, wait. She had this look of like, hold on. Well, did I mess up? She's like, no, wait. I loved that look because that's the only time I think we've seen her look genuinely confused.
Right.
Like she had this look of like, whoa, hold up.
Well, and what it probably is, here's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is it's probably because it was Dawn that did the stupid thing of, I'm going to go bump into Mom and steal the key, because that's a great idea. She's not going to notice it. It's like, there's all these finely tuned things, and with Emma and Ray and Norman, it's like, they're very predictable within boundaries and stuff, and then it's like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Like there's this wonderful painting, and then suddenly some sand gets scraped across a part of it, and it's like,
why are you here?
Yeah. What is this? This all made so much sense. I don't get it.
It's like you're looking at like the Mona Lisa or something like that. And you're like, it's a wait, it's a fake.
Yeah,
it's a fake. I've been magnificently looking at a fake.
Either that or someone had like a needle and damaged it right here.
Okay, so with regards to the plot of the episode, we went on a little tangent there, but the idea that they had a lot of things that were going on in the background,
right,
and not giving us a lot of stuff regarding what that was for.
Plot plan ammo has been loaded.
There's been a lot of plot plan ammo loaded. Chekhov's plans have been instigated.
Right
now, there were a couple things that that Crone did reveal that was interesting. We got the ages of the adults.
And we got the thing we suspected, that humans still live outside and supply the demons with the stuff.
I want to talk about that. Basically, the idea that she said that there are humans with equal standing amongst the demons.
Right.
And she's like, oh, is that what you call them?
So I'm picturing basically corporate overlords that are, that are like have all their stuff still going, and then it's like, yes, and we also supply you with what you need,
Right. But my question are those the men? Are those probably the men? Here's the thing that I find curious,
gotcha.
is that just because they have moms and they call them moms doesn't mean that guys.
What about dads?
Yeah. Well, not about dads. I would say in some level maybe there is a bit of a, well, moms generally have a little bit more of a tender side to them, so
or just generally the caring for these kids because they don't live past 12,
some kind of maternal aspect, or whatever.
So what do they use the men for?
My thought is that the men, they use them for some kind of mechanical problem solving stuff, like
gender
data
roles. Yeah.
Yes, totally, Jacob. This is very much a kind of thing there. But this is where they are controlling the raising of the children, so they can imprint in them all kinds of stereotypes and things like that. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
But the point is that a lot of men have a specific gifting for certain types of mechanical critical thinking stuff that has nothing to do with aptitude of intelligence.
It's just more of an interest in things that don't involve people.
Yes, sure. And that is interesting to me, because if moms are on equal standing potentially with certain facets of their whole organization and what have you, but they still have numbers and stuff.
Yeah. Even if they have kill switches, they're still integrated into the society. How do
you integrate humans at headquarters?
Right.
Is headquarters not headquarters? That's my next thought. is that headquarters is not headquarters.
This is just the human division of the demon government or whatever?
Headquarters is basically just a communication center. It is not actually headquarters.
Sure,
it's just a spot where they talk on phones and give information. And then
it's the management office, considering
yes, management, exactly.
And Grandma is probably the one that is the head manager.
Right. She's just an ascended mom. You know?
Right, and then she reports to the demons with... These are our earnings. This is the food we're bringing to you.
Yeah.
You know,
and if you have won a war against a race of, you know, creatures or what have you, that you then are able to dominate and control.
Yeah.
Why exterminate them all when you can use them
you can assimilate them.
You can assimilate them into your structure and then save resources and time on this whole thing there. And then in order to keep them loyal and keep them working well is you incentivize them with maybe little things here and there. You give some kind of hierarchy type thing going there.
Right. And maybe some kill switches. You know.
And maybe also some sticks. Yes, some kill switches.
Yeah. It's the whole thing of the, you know, Alexander the Great. Go and, you know... Absolutely, or was that Genghis Khan, or probably both?
What is the
thing? The whole thing of just going to a city and basically just pillaging, raping, you know, absolutely destroying them, and then moving on, and then basically saying, oh, and by the way, you now give tribute. Oh, if you want, you can surrender before we do all that stuff that we're known to do.
So, like, did you hear about what we did to these people? That was Genghis Khan. That was Genghis Khan.
And then it's you can just surrender and start paying tribute and all that stuff, all just right up front. And then we won't do all that.
The Horde would show up.
Right.
And we'd just be like, all right, we're here.
Yep.
We will give you a day to respond. Otherwise, we will do what we did to that city and that city and that city. And they would send basically some people saying, like, here's what we will give you. Right. And if it didn't please the Horde, they would just do it anyway. Right. Take what they had. And
then the Horde moves on. And if the tribute ever stops, then the Horde comes back.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That was very much a Mongol thing. And that was how they tried to have the largest empire. They did have the largest empire in the world.
Sort of conquer without actually needing to be in the same place. Right. Like in all the different places.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what happened here necessarily. What I think more that what happened here is that these demons, these creatures, or whatever they are, aliens, they seem to be the kind of thing of where if there's a lot of them, like that would explain just the issue there. But the main thing that I saw that was kind of odd about what were there 3 that came to the gate in the first episode? Because there was like.
There might have just been 2. I'm not sure.
I think there was 3.
Because Mom was there.
Well, there's the one that looked underneath the carriage, right?
Right.
So I think the one that looked underneath the carriage had some kind of like some kind of status. Like it was the leader of the ones that were there.
Although they still weren't. This food still wasn't for them. You know, it's the thing of no. This is beyond our pay grade. You know.
Right. But there were different voices, and if I remember correctly, there were 2 that were like, this food isn't for us. And they had actually a little bit more of a, like, kind of a sniveling voice.
Okay.
And then there was another one that had like a deeper kind of voice.
I don't remember enough about that one because it was a while ago.
Okay, because when I think that the reason why I remember that was because I had to rewatch that part in order to see the test score check the list thing, and that was the one that was holding the notepad checklist thing.
He's the low-level manager.
Right. So I think that in some level, because they've got this hierarchical setup within the humans, they modeled that in some level off of their own kind of potential hierarchy. So management is actually middle management.
Right. That's the truly terrifying thing. It's not that it's aliens eating humans. It's just corporate structures and stuff.
Well, I mean, that's the whole fight the power, break the cycle, break the structure kind of themes of the whole thing. Yeah. But I think when they say like him, the idea of him, the one, that's basically even more pointing towards some kind of pyramid-shaped hierarchy, is that there's a supreme one, there's a grand one, a him that we point to at the top.
Sure.
And yeah. I think what we're just getting here is that this is some way that they're trying to do a clever, slow revealing of world building by association.
Yeah, and they are doing a fantastic job of world building, not too fast, not too slow, while the main characters are not able to directly observe any of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Only weird, crazy thing that I think needs to be kind of looked at as it was like, wait, what? Was kind of the idea that Ray thinks a camera is going to help.
Right. It might be that there's like certain components that will help like fry the tracking device.
Now,
although he was focusing on there was a lot of focus on the pictures themselves.
Yeah. So what I think it also is that Ray has multiple uses for the camera.
Sure.
Now, here's the thing that I thought was kind of like odd about this is we have this whole thing of where, you know, Mom does the little scalpel letter opener threat thing that was just so good.
That was wonderful.
And then, you know, Crone loses and everything. But Ray with the camera and going around and taking pictures and stuff, it's kind of the perfect information gathering tool. Like, this is something that I don't know if he's really thinking this far ahead. But if they're thinking about leaving, right? And he's led into Mom's, like, you know, sanctum or whatever multiple times and stuff. And he, like, you know, takes pictures and stuff. I mean, he left a picture of her there. Is he allowed to show the other kids that? Like, that's
the
something...
camera itself?
The camera itself. It seems...
I mean, he seemed to be walking around with it just fine.
Right. But, like, the... I don't know. It seems like a thing that's not just going to be used for the tracking devices.
Yes, right.
And that's the thing that I have kind of this weird feeling about.
Well, what I might have thought is that he was going to use it to like take pictures of things and like maybe have Mom be in them or something like that. You know, have it be something where it's like, oh yeah, this is an innocuous picture, but then there's actually something in the background that like, you know, she didn't want him to see or something, you know, or wouldn't want there to be like proof of.
Oh.
What?
My whole theory about the trap that they lay for the higher-ups, if they kill Mom and stuff, is that on some level, if they have maybe, you know, like pictures of something that, you know, she did or something, maybe it'll be a thing of where the pictures will end up being some kind of leverage against the higher-ups.
Sure. Even. Yeah.
Now, that doesn't seem like it would work.
Well, but that is a good point, though, is that if you have a situation... Now, if things get too bad, well, then you just own up to your mistake and hope that it goes well, because the truth will come out eventually. But since the demons themselves are low-level, you know, demons and stuff that are just working their job... They could also potentially. I mean, they're not managing this place,
well,
but if they like come to, you know, collect, and then there's some problem that they somehow like exacerbate by their actions or inactions or whatever, they could get in a lot of trouble too.
Yeah, and that's something that I think is a good assumption to make, but I think it's very, very wrong to assume that they would send anything less than a full like squad to end an uprising.
Oh yeah, if there was an uprising that became public, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Right. That's why I think on some level my theory has a lot of problems, is that there's too many risks they'd be taking with just killing Mom and then having higher ups be notified.
Right.
Unless they somehow start to, like, this is another thing that'll be next level for Ray, is that he measures the time it takes for when Mom notifies them that a shipping out needs to happen and how much time it takes them to get there. Now, here's the thing. We have no knowledge of like what kind of technology is out there or what have you. They could have like portal pads that come to like,
or it just is an hour drive or something, you know,
or it's a drive for like a specific amount of time, right? But what if he's now like he's now told Norman and stuff that, so it's like, okay, this is the window of time we have to get everyone out.
After, like, the alarm is sounded.
After the alarm is sounded.
Right.
So then it becomes a chase.
Although ideally they would want to escape with the alarm not being sounded, and then it's only at the next shipment that they find out, oh, no one's here. You know?
Yeah. So y'all, there's so many crazy things that like this could lead towards. Yep. But Thank you all so much for watching this episode's reaction discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there, and any level support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about these stories about anime. You can participate in community events that we have going on there, or talk about a specific story that Jacob just finished writing recently. It's on Amazon.
Indeed, Battle Lines, my sci-fi novel, is available for purchase on Amazon. It's a pretty great story. I like it a lot, and I think you'll be surprised too. So, link in the description. Go get it and leave a review. Let people know what you think.
So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.